Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Destiny 2. So today we are going to be doing the exotic quest. The reason I'm doing this in a separate video, by the way, for those who watched my yesterday's video, which was the story content for the day, I had a bunch of problems with this quest. It just constantly was kicking me to orbit. I got to the end and finished it and it didn't work. So I figured, what the hell, I may as well make a new video on it and I can actually go through it and teach you how to do it as well. Because it's a relatively simple mechanic, but...
Riven, you never mentioned you had a personal route to the Black Garden.
And I never would have. But these are desperate times.
The last city and the Awoken have history here. What's your connection to it?
Currently, it's an inconvenience. My child is lost in this ontology, and our enemies are hunting.
Cool line. Okay, so first things first. Just down there, if you jump down there and walk around that corner, there is a chest. I have already got it, so I'm not going to jump down there. It is the first secret chest. There is another one that I don't know where it is, but that's where the first one is. You can see here, it is a beautiful area.
Eyes up, Guardian. I've heard whispers like this before. Riven was playing me into a grave.
Those whispers aren't mine.
Interesting. I think I can ignore that sniper. I don't think he's going to chase me. So, the mechanic here, you can see we have Sire's Obligation. You get that just from these little pillars of light. That is one of the two buffs that you get through this dungeon. I say dungeon, it's not really a dungeon, but mini dungeon, I guess, is what exotic quests are.
Guardian.
And when you have this buff, it allows you to kill the immune enemies.
But I've left latent sparks of paracausalogy you can harness. Break through.
So you have been here before.
I was waiting for dialogue to finish there. So you see these symbols here? We have to kill these big boys here. And we have to do it in the order that they appear up there. So we need to do fish first, which is over here. And to do damage to the big boys, you need to have the buff from Sire's Obligation. You can rebuff at any point. Just run and jump into the pool. It'll give you the buff again. And it lasts for a fair while, so it's not super difficult to get it going. These guys are also not coded as bosses, so they are finishable. But each time you do one of those, it's going to spawn some Vex as well, so be careful of that. Try to kill this guy to make it a bit easier on myself. It's also worth noting that you get a second pull up in the middle there after you do the first symbol. I can't remember which one I had to do next. Third, perfect. At 15 seconds, it's enough. Now we just need Snake, which is the final one. I will kill these guys just to make it a bit easier on myself. Don't want to get blown up by Cyclopses. The only real difference between this on Legend, by the way, the first time I ran it on Legend and got fucking error coded out of it, annoyingly. But the only difference on Legend really is that obviously things do more damage. You're 15 power under rather than 5 power under, and they have unstoppables. In each of the main encounters, there's 1 or 2 unstoppables. So it actually doesn't have a huge amount of difference in Legend compared to regular. It feels like the Legend is actually, like, I didn't have a whole lot of trouble with it, to be honest. But with all the error codes going on, I figure I may as well do the easy version of it rather than the hard version of it. And with that, door will open.
Riven. What is this place?
An Ahamkara lair.
Hidden in the Black Garden? Is it yours?
You've seen mine.
Interesting. So there is another Ahamkara. And here is where we get the second buff.
I assure you, that's not my voice.
So,
It's getting louder.
So, this here is the second buff. So this is the buff from the other Ahamkara, I assume. I've never actually technically finished the mission because the mission was just broken at the end. But if we look here, you can grab this. This is Dam's Gift. What this will allow you to do is there's these areas of weird poison shit. With this buff, it allows you to walk through them. Do I need... You're interesting. That's quite interesting. Let me re-grab this buff. I didn't find that guy the first time. I kind of want to have a look through all of these doors, because I kind of ran straight through it the first time I did this. Yeah, this guy seems... This guy on the left-hand side seems like he's by himself. I'm wondering if this is the second chest, by the way. As I said, this is kind of a semi-blind run, because I did it once, but not properly. Could I damage him with this? Ordinarily you can't, but... Yeah, he's immune. There's also a bunch of secrets in this area that are kind of confusing, because I can't tell whether or not they're for, like, progress with the catalyst? Or what they're for? So that's interesting.
You'll find the way is locked, but paracausal energy is your key.
These sparks seem different.
Because they are not mine.
As you go there, these seem different because they're not R's. So our goal here is to turn off these locks, Vex locks, which we can do with paracausal energy, which is kind of interesting that you have to use paracausal energy for it, honestly. At least I find it interesting. Another gift here. Allows us to go up through the next world. I suggest using exotic primary here, it makes things just easier. Oops. Lol. I'm really intrigued about that area back there, but we'll get to it later.
You'll find the way is locked, but paracausal energy is your key.
These sparks seem different.
Because they're not mine.
If, by the way, you walk into these areas without Dam's Gift, all it does is a damage over time effect. It's a pretty severe damage over time effect, so you can't go in there very long without it, but that's the only thing that happens. You can go in there without it, it's just a little dangerous. Killed him to get my super back, makes it a bit easier. I'll re-get the buff. Even on normal, you do have to kind of pay attention. Things can hit you like 3 times in a row and knock you out, unfortunately. Like these snipers, for instance. I'm about to lose Dam's Gift, but it's fine, because I'm coming out to the main room. So we went to the left, went underneath, came back up this side, so 2 are done. I just need to do the last one in here. What we're unlocking, by the way, is that door back there. See how there's I didn't actually show it when I came through here to begin with, but that door there is blocked. There was 3 of those, there's now 1 left. Gives us the final paracausal unlock. We can head out. I nearly died there, which would have been unfortunate. Kind of interested in this area because I assume that there might be a secret chest in this area. Also, it looks like they used to be able to get a buff here, but because I'm finished, it's no longer there. Son of a bitch does a lot of damage. Got shotgun by the Wyvern Blast there. I think I got hit by literally every bullet in the Wyvern Blast. Take out the snipers. Apparently I can't from this range with Sunshot. Sniper's down. Makes things significantly easier. Beautiful. Weaken him. Beautiful.
What aren't you telling us, Riven? The Vex couldn't have created all this. They can't simulate paracausality.
You truly wish to know?
Watch yourself, Guardian.
I do enjoy the fact that you still try to mess with Crow, even now. But we can continue on. I'm still kind of interested about the goddamn... Like, if I try to backtrack now, is this still Redwalled? Yep. Interesting. Well, we'll find out later, I guess. Through here. Now got a jumping puzzle section. Which isn't particularly difficult. Although, I am still questioning whether there's a chest in here somewhere. Because I don't know where the second chest is yet. And in a weird jumping puzzle section seems like the kind of thing that they would do. Definitely... there's a platform down there though, I don't know if it's intended.
The way forward lies in solving the paracausality of this place.
What did you protect here?
Many things.
What more?
But whoever scattered the clutch is using this lair against me. The Queen couldn't have done this. Though an Ahamkara could have.
Alright, just waiting for Riven to finish speaking there. There's a bunch of these kind of side areas that have like nothing in them, so I'm assuming this has to do with Catalyst, but I don't know. Still on the lookout for the second chest, because I have no idea where it might be. There's a bunch of areas in this mission too where you can kind of climb up to really easily, and then there's just an invisible wall saying, no, you can't go this way. Like right there, for instance. But they look so climbable. Another secret I found here, but again, leads to nothing. There's a little door back here that comes out to a cool room. But, like... You climb up there, there's an invisible wall, you can't go any higher, so I don't know what the fuck this is here for. Again, I'm gonna have to assume Catalyst, but we'll find out, I suppose. Come out here to, once again, a beautiful vista. But we're pretty much at the last encounter. There's the last encounter and then the final boss. Last encounter introduces the last thing we need to know about these buffs, which is the fact that you can combine them together. Have both at the same time. You did not get that off before you died. Fuck you. Also, as far as I can tell, those, like, Centurion guys are the only guys in the entire thing that have arc shields. So, Void is definitely the go-to on Legend rather than Arc. Arc you can live without, Void is very useful to have. Of course, on regular, I can just use Sunshot, because, well, who cares? Still don't know where the second chest is, though. The secret chest is hidden well. I think it probably has to do with that part at the start where you first get the buff that lets you walk through red walls, and I found that weird crystal. I'm assuming that's what it is, but whatever. So, in this final encounter, we will combine both buffs. We need dragon, bird, fish. Bird is there, so that's second. So we have Sire's Obligation, and then we can get second buff over here. And you can see we now have Crowned by Dragon, so we have double, both buffs at once. And it is worth noting that as long as you have Crowned with Dragons, running over either of these will rebuff you up to the full time. You don't have to run over both to get the buff again. Let's dragon first. So, I'm gonna kill this guy first. Very good gun. Next we had bird, right? Yep. This one is actually a little harder because it has some Centurions in here. You may have to leave to rebuff when you do this one, which is fine. You can leave and rebuff, it's no problem. I'm going to do it now just to show you can. If you come out, just run over to here. Grab the buff. Another 44 seconds. So you're never in a huge amount of rush, to be fair. And the guy I'm after is here. Seconds on the buff, so I'm gonna leave. Well, I thought I killed him with my super. I'm dumb. But as you can see, if the buff runs out, you have to run over both to pick them up. So ideally, you get to the buff before you run out of Twin Dragons. Crowned by Dragons. Twin Dragons Roar. He's respawned enemies, which is kind of annoying, but I can live with it. I After you kill the main Centurion man in here, you don't have to worry about any of the others. After he's dead, it will get rid of the symbol. I'm gonna have to re-grab both here. I'll show you what happens actually. If we run out of the buff, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't change your progress or anything like that, but you will have to pick up both again. So you see there, I have to get Sires, followed by the Favor, which will buff me into both. And we just have to come into this door and do the last one. This one should be quicker. Say that, but there's a lot of dudes here. Once again, if you start running low, you can run out. Free buff. Come back in. I wasn't running particularly low there, but, you know. Dead. We now have the boss. So something that I found out is that one, you can get your thing here, but this boss here, as long as you have Crowned by Dragons, you can do damage to it. And if you have a barrier weapon, you can just shoot through this white grid and kill him from up here before you even start, which is very dumb, I will say, but you know, it's fine. I guess I'll illustrate it. Fuck it. Assuming dim is working. It wasn't before. As I said, the servers are really taking a knocking. I'll show here, you can just literally stand up here with Wishender and just shoot him. Granted, you need the buff, which I don't currently have. But you can grab the buff up here still, so it's... yeah. So if you are going for a solo flawless legend, you can just cheese the fuck at him by just shooting him with Wishender from up here. I don't think it's the fastest way of killing him, certainly. But it is a way to kill him, and if you start running out of the buff, you can just run backwards and grab it here. So you can do that if you really want to and you want to cheese him. I don't feel the need to do that, however. I will just kill him normally. Since we have a rally, let's use it.
That mind is protected with Ahamkara bioenergetics. Combine the paracausal energy.
You can kill the Pitiless Attendants. That gets rid of his spinning shield, which makes him slightly easier to kill. You are also relatively safe around this side of the building. Just make sure you get your buffs. As I said, there's buffs right here. But he never really leaves the center of the room, so you can kind of safely just... I'm gonna kill you because you're annoying me. There is a Pitiless Attendant on either side. They are finishable. Harpies spawns are not particularly worrying in my mind. He will try and put you in a bubble. That seems to never work for him for some reason. Once again, just for simplicity. Buff up. no longer has a shield. That means I can just hit him with that. Heal when you need, buff when you need. These goblin spawns are kind of annoying, so kill them when necessary. Harpies are far less annoying than the goblins, because the goblins will shield the boss. Because he doesn't seem to be coded like a boss, he seems to be coded like an ultra, which is interesting. They do these goblin daisy chains, which are quite annoying, because they shield the boss. Said, goblins are annoying. Make sure you take them out as a high priority. Harpies are kind of annoying, but nowhere near as bad. They just kind of shoot you. Now, I am scared to super this man. I will say. Because last time I killed him and it broke, but fuck it. Okay, he didn't die to the super. I'm really scared of him breaking, because he broke last time. He teleported. I think he teleported as he died last time? Maybe that's what killed him? I don't know. He definitely broke last time I played this, and it was kind of annoying. And now I'm paranoid. Wait till I get to propellant times 5, may as well. As I said, gotta get rid of these daisy chain of goblins. Making him immune is highly annoying. Oh, I have the unwelcome buff. Sorry, if you have the unwelcome buff, make sure you come and grab this. Damn's Gift. And then you need to grab Light, which is on the other side. You just grab it from the middle, though. It's not particularly hard. So that's what happens if you let your Dragon's Gift fall off. You take damage over time, as I said before. He died this time. Great. So now I'll actually finish the mission, which is great. Third time I've got to this point. He's broken the other 2 times. There are Ahamkara bones here. Interestingly, so they're not alive, but they're still got their lair here.
Voices are asking to use me as a vessel.
That's Tyrannus.
Who?
Let him speak. Please.
I'll try anything twice. Let's hear you, whoever you are.
Riven, how I've missed you.
Tyrannus, what have you done?
I've made my last wish.
Your wish, you utter fool.
It's been fulfilled. Thanks to you and the Wishkeeper. I can rest.
If there were anything left of you, I'd flay it from your bones.
It was good to dance with you, oh beloved mine. One last time.
Who was he, Riven?
Taranis was my mate.
Interesting. So presumably he took the eggs. That makes sense, but was he doing it to protect them because they were his children as well? So he was trying to get them out of the clutches of, say, Mara, for instance? Or was he doing it because he was doing a bargain with the witness? I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll find out when we talk to Riven. Which you guys have already seen if you watch my story video, which was uploaded yesterday. This is just going to be a video going through the entirety of the quest. So if you like this video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I will, however, check the bow out. That's fucking sick. The arrows aren't arrows. What the hell is this thing even? I have no idea what this is, by the way. Now, for starters, it's craftable, which is great. So it has Silkburn Slayer. This weapon deals bonus damage to suspended targets. Gain faster draw time for a short duration when you suspend a target from any source or damage a suspended target with this weapon. Cool. And then Snare Weaver. Precision hits and final blows build energy towards a Snare Weaver arrow that can be fired from the hip or impact. On impact, Snare Weaver arrows create a pattern of traps that suspend nearby targets. Interesting. It is a fucking pretty weapon. Look, floating Ahamkara bones in there. Such a cool weapon.
I was not always a prisoner in the Dreaming City. The Ahamkara were once free to roam its halls. That's where I met Taranis. And Taranis, unlike others, unlike me, cherished those who wished to him. Those who bargained with him were safe. It must have cost him. I found his restraint intriguing. And my art, my dreaming halls, my dance with the Queen moved Taranis in turn. Together, we became the ebb and flow of the tide. Through him, I glimpsed a world without the tireless cycle of bargaining and feeding. Of peace. Taranis invited me to his lair, a place where we couldn't be found, in the ontology of the Black Garden. My joy of turning desire to woe faded for one rapturous moment. We made successes together. We built secrets together. And then came your great hunt of the Ahamkara.
Shax and Saladin.
The Queen took my freedom under guise of protection. Taranis and I were forever separated. But we could still whisper to one another in the space between. At least until a king arrived and made a bargain I could not refuse. I became both king and dragon. I spoke with his voice, and Tyrannus knew it. So he did the one thing our kind must never do. Grant his own wish.
Protect
at
his
the
children.
cost of his existence. A wish to keep the eggs out of harm's reach until someone could protect them. Someone like you.
Well, that's
His
beautiful.
wish keeper.
Legitimately beautiful. And sad. Very, very sad. Well, anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Weapon acquired. Even though I got kicked out of the mission 16 times with all sorts of nonsense. But anyway, I'll see you next time, guys.